Right, back in the room. I must want my head testing for doing this. Luckily, there's a reason I stopped the stream and started again, is I didn't want to do this with 40 people in the room. It's going to be weird enough doing this with just a handful of people in the room. I mentioned when we were doing the show that, a lot of people share stuff with me online about their lives and things like that. And I never, ever share about, but we're missing a lot of shows and, sort of vaguely talking about things. I thought, fuck it, it was recommended to me that being open is a good thing. There are lots of things I can't be open about legally and other reasons. But I thought, why not? And I was actually hoping for about 2 people to be in for this, because obviously there's problems when you share things that are going on in your life that aren't great or anything, is that some people will really enjoy it, which isn't so bad. But also, there's so many people that have it so much fucking worse, and you don't want to be a whiny bitch or sound like you're begging for help, because that isn't the case. And it's just, that's your constant worry. Is it going to sound like I'm whining? Is it going to sound like I want people to do something? But hey, let's see if this is as cathartic as everyone else. By the way, if it bores you, feel free. Just tell me to shut the fuck up or leave. It's fine. God, I wish I had some fucking booze. Going to jump backwards and forwards a little, but right now, basically, I'm looking at having to start over again at the age of 47, which is quite daunting. But I'm going to jump back from saying that about 7 years when my son was born, the light of my fucking life. Just before he was born, we were doing okay. I've never been a wealthy guy. I've always invested my time and energy into things that I believe in. So since I've been online with the net, it's all been about free speech and freedom of expression. I've been involved in several projects, none of them as big as Live Leak became, but there was Ogrish, Live Leak, and stuff that I believed in. But we were doing okay because I wrote for a few guitar magazines. I was demoing for a lot of guitar companies, and whilst we were a long way from wealthy. I mean, a million miles from wealthy. We're doing all right. We had money left at the end of the month. It's a good place to be. And when we decided we were going to have a kid, so my wife caught the pregnancy, and shit was good. But then, all at once, I think it was like a couple of months before Junior was born, 2 of the magazines folded. One of them owed me a substantial amount of money. And then we found out that the landlord that we've been paying the rent to hadn't been paying his mortgage, and we were going to get evicted. So we'd been paying, because that's what you do. So we did the court thing, got put up for that, and burned through the savings. Junior was born. I don't need to tell you, if any of you guys are parents, I don't need to tell you how amazing that is when your kid's born. But then they made him stay in hospital because he was getting blisters. And one of the doctors took me aside and they said it might be EB, which is a fatal disease. Fatal. I didn't even tell the wife. Turns out it wasn't that, and it was something that was controlled and everything else. But it made for a very stressful, because the first 2 months of his life, all he did was either sleep fitfully or scream, because he was in pain. The condition that he had, he must have felt like a nettle rash at all times. But we found a fantastic specialist and got on top of it anyway. That was all good. But around that time, I lost all my work because of the magazines going bust. We burned through the savings. We lost the house because of the landlord screwing us. And I had to start from scratch. I mean, there's never been a big income out of LL and things like that. Never, because if there was, there would be no LL. So, started from scratch, with a new kid. Got a new place, got back into business, sorting out websites for people, doing media stuff. Got back to a good place, not great again, but a little bit of money left by at the end of the month that you put away. So, going forwards, what's all gone wrong recently? And remember, please, if you're just joining me, this isn't a cry for help or anything. I've just been told we should all be open with each other as people are open with me. So, About a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was introduced to someone who was really, really down on his luck. I mean, he was on the bones of his ass. Apparently, he was a good salesman. So I was introduced and told he was a great bloke. Is there anything I could do to help this guy? So we had a chat, and he wanted to sell this very simple Google service. I think it was making sure people's Google Maps place. No, Google, I'm not talking to you. Making sure the Google Maps were up to date, that everything was good, change the pictures 3 times a year. It was a very simple service, very cheap service. He was, I said, well, that's great. We'll offer that for 12 months. You get back on your feet. Most of the money went to his wages, because I was fine with that. Had all the business set up properly. I said, you've got to tell people it's something they could do themselves. Be straight with them, because we want that list. We want you to build a list of people we can approach for other services and products once you're back on the feet. Fine. While he was beavering away with that and everything looked great, I got involved in the sustainable fuel business, because the chap that I was working with on that had some revolutionary designs that would genuinely be able to have an impact on fuel poverty for the elderly and those in need of help. And it was brilliant, but it was going to be very difficult to achieve. So I was focused on that. What an industry that is. But anyway, it's coming on to 12 months with the chap with the sales business. We started having meetings with other business people that I know, saying we'll put together a sales team. You can sell products for this guy. Build a team around you, and you'll do well. And he was well up for it. And then one day I was in the office, and I went through to the office, and there was 2 people waiting, a man and a woman. I was told they were from the Insolvency Service on behalf of the Secretary of State. Okay, all right, okay. So I brought them in. They said they wanted to know about the business, told them everything, gave them access to the bank records, the accounts, everything. Went, yeah, there's everything. Here's how it works. Okay, do you know this person, this person, this person? I said, no, I just know that guy. Let's call him Alan, because his name's Alan. Right. And they went away. Got a letter through. We want to interview you at the place. You have to attend. Fine, no problem. Took Alan with me. We went there. He was really upset. He was saying he thought he was going to get sent under again, lose the business, blah, 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 blah. So I took over the meeting. I said, there's all the paperwork. There's all the invoices that Alan had only given me 5 minutes before. And, there's everything. And they asked questions. Do you have this department? I went, no, nothing like that. Do you charge VAT? No, it's not VATable. No. Went away, and then Alan vanished. He vanished. And I got another call to go back in. I had about 4 interviews with him in the end. Alan had been charging VAT. Alan had been acting immorally, if not illegally, pressuring people into parting with money, inventing collections departments, harassing people, just acting very badly. And I didn't know. Now, as a director, it was my responsibility. But when you get the figures through every week and you get your reports through, you just think, it's fine. How could anything go wrong with a simple business? Naivety, I suppose, on my part. But it wasn't fine. Alan vanished, told me he was depressed in the last time I heard from him. I went, why am I wearing these? I didn't really give a fuck how depressed Alan was, because he'd fucked my life. Because what then happened was I was disqualified. Well, I had to go through several meetings, and then because I was the director, I was personally absolved of the wrongdoing, but I was disqualified as a company director. This fucked me. All my other businesses, I couldn't run them. Meanwhile, in the sustainable fuels one, there were nightmares. Everyone you deal with is trying to rip you off. One guy who my colleague, brought me into was an absolute fucking con man. I ended up having to go in while I was still able to be a director and try and become a director of that company to make sure the staff got paid, to see if we could get it over this problem. He screwed everybody. The guy up in Scotland stole a load of the stuff. The con man reported my colleague to the police for theft. So the police froze the company bank account. We didn't know at the time why. It just got frozen. It took me 3 months to find out what was going on. When I found out, I went to the police. I volunteered to go in for an interview. We did all that. The police then said, well, we're not freezing the company account because it wasn't stolen. The bank kept it frozen for another month anyway, because that's what they do, and then they closed the account. Basically, everything was fucked. All through this, burned through the savings. Just generally got fucked. Mostly for trying to help people, but I guess that's the punishment, isn't it? But during this time, the reason I've been missing shows isn't just because of bad business or poverty. My mother broke her hip, had to have 2 hip replacements. My mother-in-law has dementia, and my wife's family are dreadful cunts. They really are. So deal with that. Then just a few months ago, my father had a stroke. So there's been a lot to deal with. I also found out, just after a random test, that I have quite bad type 2 diabetes. To the point when my doctor said, well, another 2 points, we wouldn't let you have your operation for your carpal tunnel or anything. He didn't understand why I hadn't been more ill. I didn't either. But I had high blood pressure. My heart rate was too fast. I was a fucking wreck. I was getting anxious. I was just fucked. Every day panicking. What am I going to do? That's where I found myself this week. But with the health side, I've just cut out eating shit. That's the only reason I've lost weight. I don't eat shit. Do more walking. Getting that under control. Sorting that part out. The rest is just panicking. But I went back to doing just sites for people. Get clients back in. Get things rolling. And the reason I had a complete fit the other day is I got this client lined up, got another one I'm going to talk to this week, got 80% of the work done. The client turned around and said, I can't afford to pay you. I'm in trouble. It's like, no. But that's the way it goes, right? So, yeah, that's why I've been missing shows. I've been through the fucking ringer. I've watched everything I worked so hard to build up. Since the last time I had to build everything up, wiped out. Predominantly because I tried to do good things, or what I thought were good things anyway, and was punished accordingly with having my life torn to fucking pieces and fucked about with. And that on top of everything else is why I've missed shows and haven't been going in. And it's also one of the reasons we're asking people to support TW, because I can't bankroll it sort of forever, especially not at the moment. But we're okay. It's just there's lots to get on top of. I'm still passionate about LiveLeak, although there's a lot of difficulties there at the moment because of the way that the world is. The way the world is, how censorial people are, and that's why I'm throwing myself behind the TW thing and trying to work on these live events, because there should be a place where people can speak freely without fear of retribution, that it isn't recorded permanently, that we can still be adults and not worry about the fucking cancel culture arseholes and people trying to fucking destroy everything. So yeah, I'm still passionate about all the things that I've always been passionate about, and yeah, that's still, I don't know, I just thought I'd share that with you, why I've missed so many, and why, there's been odd messages now and again. I've just shared this with a load of complete fucking strangers, and some of my friends don't even know what's been going on. Got my shit straight. So starting again at the age of 47. What a load of old bollocks that is. It's fucking terrifying. It's shit. And this time I'm going to try and ensure I'm not doing it again at the age of 57. If I make it to 57, I've got to make it out the end of the month. Yeah, but I've been through worse. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. Equick says, never trust anyone but yourself. People in the world is fucked up. Haven't you watched Live Leak? Yes, I have. But, you know, before I got into these deals, I did check above my right shoulder. No Live Leak logo. No Live Leak logo. When we're doing the sustainable fuel thing, every time I went into the plant, always checked. Because the minute you see that motherfucker, some shit's going to happen. But there was none of that. But yeah, that's the way business goes, you know. You get fucked over sometimes, I guess. So all in all, tricky times. Tricky times. But I've still got shit to do before I die, Spammo, but thanks for that. Not quite ready to go yet. Not quite ready to go yet. Yeah, your health is your wealth, Bucksco, but I seem to be getting on top of that to a reasonable degree. I think I've lost... I don't weigh myself during that, but it's over a stone and a half so far. There's still quite a bit to go, you know. Oh, Graham, don't feel too guilty, dude. You earned that £4. I've never seen anyone suck a cock like that, dude. I was in awe. Almost made me see if I had £4 on me. Yeah, but for now. Spammo Dump says, sucking on that bloody thing won't help matters and it's extremely antisocial. Oh, chief of my concerns. If you think this is what makes me antisocial, dude, you don't know fuck all. I don't give a fuck what you think about my habits, man. It's fine. Antisocial. Fuck you, fuck your router. And you should enjoy it. It smells like cake. It's nice. It's got to be a fucking improvement on your house, which probably spells of, I don't know, common desperation, I expect. How do I get work now? I'm just networking like a motherfucker. Well, as much as I can network, because I don't like fucking people that much. No, I've got one job in progress, got another one that I'm lining up, and a couple of other things I'm going to be doing. So you just gotta work it. I'm not on the insulin, Andrew. I'm trying to control it just with a low dose of metformin. And yeah, I just don't eat as much shit. That's it. I just don't eat as much shit. On the positive side of the story I told you, Alan did okay. He did all right. So he did fine. Yeah, fat belly. That's a concern of mine. That's why I'm trying so hard to get it under control. My eyes are, they're naturally losing a bit of sharpness. I don't want to have a problem with the eyes. I don't want my feet cutting off. I've got a young kid. He's 7. I want to still be able to do stuff with him, and not have him pushing me around in a fucking chair while I grumble at things. Not now, anyway. Maybe in a few years that'd be quite cool. I just want to be around. What do I do? Mostly websites and media for people, videos, animation, stuff like that. That's what I was doing before, and I was happy. I'm going to go back to doing that happily, and it'll, hopefully build it up to the point I can concentrate on my fun stuff. Because that's all I want to do, really. Earn enough that my family's okay, and then do these sort of things. I don't need anything else. I don't need a fancier car. I don't need a bigger TV. As long as it's bigger than Graham's, that's all that matters. Just that little bit better. All right, Graham. But that's all I need. That's all I need. Oh, Alan is a full-blown prick. And there's other shit that I would tell you, but I can't. I'm just unable to tell you. But yeah, it's been an interesting time. Graham's seen me in some fucking states. What happened to Alan? He's away. He's vanished. None of his friends know, or they're certainly not telling me. So you got to let it go, though. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you get stuck. In the wrong mindset. Vengeance and shit like that. I'm too old for that shit. You just got to, right, it's happened, it's done, I can't change it. put it aside. Look forwards. What other choices have you got? What other choices have you got? There's a couple of interesting things I've been invited to join in on. But they're things, that if they pay out, it's going to be 12 months' time, something like that. So we'll get through. I can't pimp Graham out anymore, Andrew. The poor guy's, he's done all he can. He's already lost his snap on the balloon knot. I've got to go easy on Graham. I don't want to break him. I don't have to replace him yet. It's too soon. It's way too soon. By the way, Fat Belly, sorry to hear about you having the eye problems, dude. I hope, it doesn't, I don't think it gets better, does it? I just hope it doesn't get any worse. Cup of tea, Guinness can make that. Luckily, I only drink a couple of pints a week, tops. So I don't really have a problem with that. Not really much of a drinker. For all that vape, that's about the extent of my my vices, really. Just vaping. That wasn't me on the Lively video asking the truck driver who wanted company. I don't ask. Yeah, Buckscore, cheers, mate. He's great. He's a great kid. The condition was managed. Luckily, he had it very young, so it's not something that's going to bother him too much through his life. But it could have been terrible. And when they told me it was that EB, though, I remember the doctor put me aside and said it might be EB, which is a dreadful condition that just tears lives apart, and then it guarantees an early death after a long and painful fucking life. And I remember him telling me, and I didn't tell the wife, and I went home from the hospital, and this is so emo, but it's so true. I just sat in my back garden and ended up killed in a fucking ball, crying my heart out, trying to process the fact that the doctors just told me that my son might have a fatal fucking disease, but he didn't, and that's what matters. He didn't have it, but that's why I still support a couple of the charities, even though I've got fuck all, because what that does to kids and families that's a cruel fucking disease. That's a cruel fucking disease. But yeah, he didn't have it, and he's doing great. He's left-handed, but you can't have everything. Lee, mostly small businesses. I just provide services to them that are usually too expensive, because they don't have to be that expensive. Media, video stuff especially, because everyone needs that now. But it costs an arm and a leg if you go to even a smaller agency. They're just ridiculously expensive. Hiya, Tez, how you doing, mate? You just got back from the holiday. I hope you enjoyed yourself, mate. Salford Red Devils beat Castleford 22-0. No. Oh, rugby. Yeah, I thought that was a very high score. That'd be quite big for football, wouldn't it, really? Oh, Spammo. Don't settle for that, mate. Don't let them do you like that. Don't let them do you like that. Buckscore, my lad plays guitar right-handed. He plays football right-footed. Just writes left-handed. But bless, because he's left-handed, his handwriting's... Boy, his vocabulary, his English and everything is great. He's just left-handed. Clearly a witch. Oh, your card was declined. Dude. That sucks. I'm glad you did have a nice time though, Tez. I'm assuming you did. You seem like you're in a good mood. I'm hoping you did. Tez is going to be down with us to the setup and running the show at the Meat Space event, so I'm really quite looking forward to that. Really looking forward to it. I keep saying that I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to it. I wonder if Spammo would do it. I remember if I used to go to the Asdas near Man City's ground, if you went late at night and you went to the Sig Counter, if it was open late, I was always in the queue behind a Nigerian guy who had 4 or 5 cards that all got declined. It happened several times. Was that you? Someone's moving around. I don't think, by the way, thank you for coming and hanging out for a bit. I don't think we're going to make this video available for people to watch later. Spamo, I don't have any money to send you. But I'm pretty sure I cleared that earlier. But even if I did, I wouldn't send it you to buy wine. I mean, just why don't you use, like, cash? Bit of cold hard cash. Nobody carries cash anymore. Very strange. Everything's cards. And believe me, what I learned with the business is the banks can take that shit away with you. They can take that shit away from you without telling you why. I looked into it after the business one got frozen till it was all sorted out. There's people that have had their personal accounts frozen for like over a year, 2 years, never been told why. Been sent under, and then the banks just get rid of them. Just get rid of them. You've got to watch that. Scammed on Gumtree. Tell me that's not so. Tell me that's not so. It's Spock now, isn't it? That's the one everyone's getting scammed on. That's the new one. Oh, Bugs Cut. People have rejoiced just for the lulls, which is fine. Some people would enjoy it, but I don't worry too much about those sort of things because, since Ogrish, that's been going on. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Part of why I enjoy is the banter when people are giving you shit and you're giving shit. It's just some people get very butthurt about it and then try and project it onto me. That's my favourite thing. Oh, Hayden must be butthurt. I got banned on Lively. It's like, dude, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Sorry, I don't know. I recognise some of you guys, obviously Fat Belly and Cup of Tea and some usernames, but other people I just don't have a fucking clue. And I've hurt your feelings, haven't I, Hayden? It's like, dude, no, I don't care. I miss Ogrish, bring it back, please. No. It's been like 13 years, dude. Gotta let it go. But I'm saying let it go. Wearing the t-shirt. I don't think you could do Ogrish now. I don't think you could do it. Not properly. I know there's gore sites out there like Best Gore and YNC, but they're not like Ogrish. They're not like Ogrish. It's all moved on. It's all changed. You got to have spammy advertising pop-ups for rape porn and shit like that. I mean, granted, Ogrish used to have a little horse porn advert in there, but I'm assured it was consensual. Ian, I can't tell you that, but it isn't me. I was part of it, but the original trademark belongs to someone else. Ogrish was way more than a gore site. Ogrish was awesome. I was kind of burned out with the content towards the end because I was editing it and sorting it all out. And just getting a mailbox full of that shit every morning was getting a bit much. But Ogrish was fucking awesome. I loved it. I really loved the forums. The Ogrish forums were fantastic. That's why we kept them going for like 12 years after the site closed. Yeah, but Ogrish was a tremendous... There were so many great sites. There still are, but, Ogrish Consumption Junction, always like that one. I've still got an Ogrish magazine knocking around somewhere. Just the one copy. I don't know what happened to the others. Am I cutting ties with Lively? No, I'm not. We're just incredibly busy fighting an uphill fucking battle. I've no desire to cut ties with Lively. I think there's still much to be done with Lively. I still think there's much to be done. If the time comes where I don't think I can do it anymore, then I will. I'll do what other people have done in the group and just mosey off. You leave with nothing. But I still think there's things to be done. Yeah, Ursat's the Ogrish forums are gone. The Ogrish forums are gone. I remember LiveLeak, just when we opened that, the morning we opened it, Jupiter opened it 2 hours or an hour early. Because I came downstairs at about, I think I'd set my alarm for 5:30 in the morning, something like that. Made a coffee, sat at the computer, turned it on. It was live. And as well as all the, trying to bug fix and find out what's going on and talk to people. I remember we never had view counts on Ogrish, but we were watching the view counts on the videos going up and up and up and up and up and up. And just the overwhelming sense was, oh fuck, what have we done? We weren't ready for that. We weren't ready for that. I remember me back on the BBC in the day as well. I remember deciding to stop doing them. LiveLeak has changed, but LiveLeak's not got a choice. LiveLeak's a big site. I mean, it's not YouTube big, but it's big. It costs a huge amount of money to keep online. There's people that depend on it, and it doesn't exist in a vacuum. And the pressures that are applied to other sites are applied to us, but we don't have Google's billions to fight them off. So you have to, you either sometimes have to bend or break. And a lot of the smaller sites say, oh, just do whatever you want, but they don't have those pressures. So it's always looking for ways. It's looking for ways around things. How are you going to attack it? What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with it? The buffering, God, yeah. Before we had HD videos, the buffering. If there was a really big video, the whole site would collapse. Just that video would be available. All the good old days. I like it when people talk about LiveLeak as if, I hated the good old days, and I like the fact it's got all these, all the problems that are going on the net that we're subject to as well. And a lot of people don't realise if it was only up to me, if it was only me, LiveLeak would have wound up being shut down fucking years ago. Not because I'd have shut it down, but it's not just up to me. That's why it's worked, because it was up to me. It never managed to do what it did. I've never been involved in anything that big and terrifying in my life. Fuck's sake, they put me on TV. That shit doesn't happen in real life, does it? But I think the TV interviews are behind me now. They were getting very dull anyway. The last good one was... I think it was one of the last ones I did. Newsnight, where they got that angry man with the yellow skin to shout at me. Very successful author. Wolf, I think his surname was. But no, definitely not cutting ties with LiveLeak. Definitely not cutting ties. Like I say, I think there's too much still to be done. Everyone says no one watches TV, but millions of people still do. Well, actually, that's not true, but I've only been recognised in public a few times. Mostly it's because I've been on the telly. Invariably, they don't know why. I remember there was one guy stopped me in the supermarket because he's a LiveLeak member, and he said he'd seen me the week before, but because I was with my family, he didn't want to bother me. I thought that was really cool. Because that's one of the things, if I'm with my family, I won't think. If I'm on my own, yeah, I'll talk to anybody. And there's one weird guy that used to obviously see me at the petrol station. He used to tell me what I'd bought from there, which I thought was really fucking weird. You bought some milk today. I thought he was going to murder me. That's true, because Anton LaVey also does his shopping in East Manchester. Why wouldn't it be the dead American Satanist? You bald guys with beards, you all look the same. Well, apart from my bitching, it's turned into quite a nice little hangout session. This has been alright. Oh shit, it's 12:10. Christchurch, we didn't show that video on Lively because we knew, but we still got banned in Australia, so you get fucked either way, don't you? Hello, Dominic. I think Graham's still floating around somewhere. He was on before, I don't know where he is now. I would imagine that an orgy consent is a given. I could earn a living as a ghost hunter lookalike. I've never been on one of those things, you know. You know, those ghost tours and things like that. I was asked to go on one. I think because of the people involved, I said yes and just never got back to them. But I did once meet one of the guys that worked on Most Haunted. He was filming for an American TV company, sent someone to Manchester to talk to me years and years ago. And the sound guy was a guy off Most Haunted. I think he was a sound guy. I am frequently mistaken for Reverend Lionel Fanthorpe. Not a day goes by. Not a day goes by they go, hello, Lionel. You know, that or Rob Halford. Or Sid Haig. Oh, he's dead now, isn't he, Sid Haig? That sucks. Passed away. Looking forward to 3 from Hell, though. There's a lot of films I've still got to say. I've got to take my old man to see Rambo next week, I think. That'll be cool. We'll just go together and watch an aging Sylvester Stallone chop Mexican people to bits. I did say Reverend Lionel Fanthorpe, didn't I? Well, Ersatz Mode, I don't remember who you were back in the day on Ogrish, or if I banned you or somebody else did and I got the blame, but dude, you know, it was there for 12 years. If you didn't take your opportunity, I can... Oh, is Lionel Fanthorpe dead? I didn't know. I didn't know. Oh, he's alive. Derek Acora. Every time he was possessed, the ghosts always acted the same way. Very strange. It's almost as if it wasn't real. Ersatz Mode, was that your name on... was that your name on Ogrish? Was it Ersatz Mode? It doesn't ring a bell. You remind me of Ratiocinnator, but I don't think Ratiocinnator was ever banned. Ratiocinnator was a fierce vegan who actually sent me a David Icke book to read once, which was very nice. We do have super chats, Dominic. We do have super chats, definitely. Derek was an Ogrish member. People used to ask me, "Hey, who are the famous people that are members here?" As if they come and tell you. Ersatz, were you Ratiocinnator? I think I've asked you this before. Were you Ratiocinnator? Because I don't think I ever banned you from anywhere. In fact, Ratio had one of my email addresses. That's how Ratio sent me the David Icke book. But yeah, you say, who are the famous members? As if they come and tell me. You know, hello, admin of LiveLeak. I'm a very famous person. The only person that's ever said that to me is G.I. Joe. Keeps telling me he's dead famous and can't be identified. And I keep having to tell him, I don't care. But what he does, he hints in a way that he wants me to ask. So obviously I don't ask. Ever. Boston Baked Bean doesn't ring a bell, I'm afraid. Boston Baked Bean definitely doesn't ring a bell. Derek broke Wingman John's back. Ratio, I always enjoyed the shit out of Ratio Senator. She was so angry, but funny. I'm sure Ratio showed up on Live Leak a few times as well. Kind of fell away and came back and fell away. I can't comment as to whether she was hot or not. I never saw her, but you know, got a powerful thirst on me. Oh, coffee and amber. Not a good mix. Not a good mix. We should do like these just hangout sessions every once in a while. What was the first video on Live Leak? I don't know, because we had a couple of thousand preloaded. So I couldn't tell you. The first big uploader on Live Leak was Drone Tech. That's for sure. The first big uploader was Drone Tech. Because I remember talking to him, I think, the first day, trying to help him get videos on and stuff like that. And obviously still talk to him quite often, which is nice. There's quite a few people that are gone from Live Leak that I do miss chatting with or arguing with. Some people I missed that just really fucking hated me, but I still enjoyed their content. You know, but there's ones that have died and moved on. I mean, 13 years, you know, you get to meet a lot of people and see them come and go. And every time someone popular leaves, everyone else gets annoyed. But, you know, people leave, people change, people want to do something new. And it happens. It happens. I don't remember Boston Baked Bean, though. Which is strange. Doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell. And Graham, just if you're still watching, dude, ersatz mode, if that is Ratio Senator, the extreme veganism, it's only the tip of the iceberg that you've seen. It turns into full-blown plastic shoe-wearing madness. It's grade A, top-notch stuff. Big Ern did become a legend with the Sistroman video. I tell you, he's a really nice guy. I don't speak to him much these days. Apparently my tattoo's still on him. That came as a surprise. But he's a really, really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Shammy, God, yeah, when I used to say I couldn't understand him. Don't know what happened to him either. Probably got pissed off. Was he Dutch? I think he was Dutch. Shammy. I think he was Dutch. He spoke English really well, but it's when people used to call in. But yeah, Big Ern's, he came over to the UK. He was really shy and nervous when I first met him. But really nice guy. Mr. Yag, I still talk to him sometimes on Twitter. He's living a very good life now. He runs a boat charter company on the other side of the world. They built this wonderful old sort of sailing ship to take people out to look at the seven seas, I guess, or however many there bloody are. But yeah, he's still around, mostly screaming about Brexit for some reason, but each to their own. So I still talk to Mr. Yag on occasion. He always was a good guy. I think I met him a couple of times as well. I used to talk to him on the phone quite a bit. Psycho and Penwan. Certainly Psycho I've not heard about since the Ogrish days, you know, and Penwan, I think he went off abroad to get married. From what I remember. I occasionally still speak to Little One. Not terribly often, but once in a while. But that's about it for the guys from Ogrish. You know, Danny, Surgeon, all those folks. Don't know. I think a lot of them went off to... What was he called? The spin-off one by that Australian guy. Gorgrish. Gorgrish? I might have that wrong. But yeah, I think a few folks went there. I don't go there, but who was that one guy? He was a mod for a while. I think he's the guy that uploaded the aircraft landing video where the aircraft lands sideways. He, I'm sure he still had it on his LinkedIn that he was a member of staff, like an editor or something like that. Major General Despair, there's one. No, not Gorgasm, Ersatz Mode. I think it's called Gore Grish. It was like a spin off because they got pissed off with. Oh, fucking, I'm racking my brains for this shit now. Uncoverreality.com went tits or something, and I can't remember his name, the Australian guy, but they started Gore Grish, I think it's called. Danny Jock, still catch up with him on Twitter sometimes. Danny's got a kid. Gorgasm, where bones meet boners. For a while I was getting messages from people that ran the forum there or something, but I never had anything to do with Gorgasm. Nothing whatsoever. Had the hardest time convincing them of that. They just didn't seem to believe me. Gorgasm, fucking hell. Danny Jock's another really cool guy. I like Danny. Always did. Not everyone did, because someone reached out and fucked his life for him because they didn't like his videos, which, that's such a dick move. I fucking hate that. Doxing and messing around with people's lives just because you can. I think it's really just a really shit way of fucking doing things. I really, really do fucking hate that kind of behaviour. Aphid yeah, but you know, times change, things move on. A lot of people were put off from doing more Yorsays and things because of the atmosphere that prevailed for quite a while with the warring factions that just fucking attacked everybody. Everybody that was new, and every time we stepped in we were fascists because, you know, it's like, guys, you can't keep running people off the fucking site being dicks. But that's what happens, you know, everyone suddenly treats it like it's their house and fucks everybody else off, and a lot of people just didn't want to enter into that. Smoke Steve, not only did he get doxxed, they reached out and got him fired. Granted, he did put a video out where he was dancing naked in the office, but no one in the office would have known. Someone actually went out of the way to fuck his life. Really went out of the way to fuck his life. Just dreadful. Fucking dreadful. I really hate that bollocks. I really, really do. Well, Sats, if you are Ratio, fucking good to catch up with you again. Glad to see the Not Loaf hasn't killed you yet. It makes me very happy to know that. Warren. God, yeah. Warren 25 Smash. Another really cool guy. You know, away from... He used to make videos to get reactions, but if you spoke to him away from that, he was a really switched on, cool guy to talk to. Just made really angry videos and then vanished. But I think he vanished from everywhere. As far as I know, it's not like Shoe Nice who keeps popping back up on YouTube eating another dog turd or something. I found that most of the people, to be honest, regardless of their political stance, most of the people you talk to personally are kind of cool people. Because people generally, overall, are pretty cool. Pretty easy to get on with and stuff. In my experience, even some of you probably are. Not a cup of tea, he's just a pure twat all the way through. Doxing, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. That's that you're so butthurt over something somebody has said on the internet that you want to affect their entire life. What kind of incel shotting pussy does something like that, you know? Obviously Antifa, they fucking love it. Tells you all you need to fucking know, really, doesn't it? So let's come up here. Filmed the chick jogging and got in trouble. That was my grand. No, it was the guy that recorded his own balls on Mr. God's video camera. It wasn't my grand. I see, I'm blanking now, it's late. But I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, he got in trouble for wearing a balaclava. Gort Evans, there we go. Yeah, Warren's ball vid, I remember people got really mad about that. But he got in touch with me and said, can I put a video up where it's just showing my balls? Yeah, if you want. But then Jupiter featured it because he said, I couldn't see what they were in the picture. It was an awful video. Just a close-up of his fucking wrinkly scrotum. No, I don't think he was in Florida. Gort was... Actually, I don't know. I don't think it was Florida. Not very hilly Florida, is it? At least I don't think it is. Why you banned Shoe Nice? I didn't ban Shoe Nice. But Shoe Nice is mental. He deleted his account in a fit of pique. I don't know. I think he wanted paying us. I don't even remember. But he said LiveLeak was scum and everyone on it was scum and the site was shit. Then he went back to YouTube and probably tried eating another couple of dog turds and drinking some thinners and it didn't work out. And then he came back to LiveLeak for a bit, then stormed off again. You know, just Shoe Nice is mental. He's mentally damaged. The guy's seriously fucked in the head. But yeah, of course he is. He eats dog turds. Anyone who chugs a litre of Jack Daniels is definitely mental. The Jack Daniels were the least of his problems. Elfboy says, are you worried about vaping now? No, it's still a far less harmful alternative to smoking. None of the illnesses or deaths have been related to nicotine liquids. They've only been related to dodgy THC cartridges, which I don't use, and it's been blown out of all proportion. And the measures they're taking against it in the States show that, you know, all you guys in the States are going about the freedoms that you enjoy. Only the freedoms that can be bought. You know, people have died vaping. We're going to ban it. 480,000 people a year in America die because of smoking. Not in a mad rush. This is about money. This is about the kickback the big tobacco companies give to states for healthcare and things. But they only pay out if sales are up. But the states already budget that money, and so they've already spent the money before they've got it. There's something really fucking dodgy going on with vaping. But yeah, the THC cartridges, just exercise extreme caution because they found vitamin E acetate in there, which basically turns into an oil in your lungs. That's no good. You don't want oil in your lungs. Pesticides, other things, other drugs. Here in Manchester, there was a thing where people were buying THC cartridges, but they were full of spice. You know? But is anybody really surprised that drug dealers don't have your best interests at heart? Just gotta be careful. Smoke Steve. You're 100% right. There's people being put out of business left, right, and centre. Families are going to be on the breadlines. Everything for nothing, for nothing whatsoever. You know. Well, there's more kids vaping, but there's less kids smoking. Kids are going to do whatever they're going to do. You're not going to stop them. Prohibition does not fucking work. But it seems to me that smoking is apparently more acceptable to these politicians than vaping, which is proven to be less damaging. You know, there's scientific evidence that's come out about it, you know, helping reverse COPD. What was it the guy from New York said? The governor, is it Cuomo? Yeah, vaping's safer than smoking, but so what? Those are his words. Oh, cheers, Dominic. This isn't even the show. The show was earlier. We're just hanging out. But thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate it. We're just hanging out for a bit. We did the show earlier, and now we're just digging in. But there, I'm glad you found it. Glad you enjoy it. We do it Tuesdays and Thursdays. Graham does most days during the week at 12 p.m. And I'm apparently going to be doing some more, the odd evening ones. I think we should do more of these hangout ones every once in a while and all. Not where I talk with stories of my fucking life every week, but, just hanging out, chatting shit with a few of us. I think that's really nice. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, if you do vape THC, I don't know. I wouldn't know where to suggest you should buy it from. I don't know. I don't know what the safe alternatives are. I guess just get some weed and fucking smoke it or eat the shit. Yeah, just do whatever you've got to do, dude. But when I think of the amount of businesses that are going to be sent under, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. The actions are still like India banned vaping. We spoke briefly about this a couple of weeks ago. India has something like 42 million vapors, and they basically outlawed it. They said you can keep your stuff, but there's nothing else coming in. No juice, no new mods, no parts, nothing. And not only does this affect the 42 million vapors in India, but it's going to have massive knock-on effects on the big companies in China that make a lot of the hardware. That's a big chunk of their market, because the vape market's not huge. It's big, but it's not a massive industry like tobacco or pharma or anything. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I think more people are going to wind up being on the Met mods, because Chinese companies that make these regulated mods and things of that nature might not be around. They might just move on to something else. Interesting times. Cheers, Dominic. I appreciate it very much, mate. Very, very much. I don't know. I've not decided, because there's Vaping with Vic, who'd be a good one. There's Grim Green, but I don't know if he'd come on. And there's also Matt from Suck My Mod. But there's so many, isn't there? It's just getting in touch with one of them and seeing if they'll come on something that's not as popular as they are. Because, we don't get shit tons of views or subscribers. We were doing well for a while until the YouTube algorithm stopped using us as suggested videos. But when you're not that big, people do question what's in it for them coming on it, Jay Hayes would be awesome. I would love to get Jay Hayes on a video, because he's an outspoken motherfucker as well, and he's very funny. Jay Hayes would be a lot of fun to go. If anybody watches him, I'll drop him a line for us. But he would be a good one to go. Good call, Bugscore. I mean, Grim Green would be great because of his reach and, his knowledge, but Jay Hayes would be funny, because he gets angry and shit. Smashes things with hammers. I approve of that. In fact, he released a video, didn't he? How much do I want to talk about that? He had a real personal tragedy, but shared it with everybody, and that was that must have been so hard. Gotta be hard. God bet that mad to inhale. Vic is bad enough when you're stoned. I quite like vaping with Vic. He's okay. Madza says, what's going on here? We're just hanging out, dude. We did a little show earlier, and now we're just hanging out. Having a chat. Chilling. chilling using up YouTube's bandwidth. I should probably be, well, not in bed yet, but I should definitely be on the couch reading my Kindle. But yeah, books cover. I agree. I agree very much, and I can see why he winds people up so much, which obviously I like as well. Let's see if we can get in touch with him. Oh, there must be a way outside of just trying to wave at him from comments. We'll see. This is true. Vic does do damn good reviews. I don't know. We'll see if we can get on. What am I reading? At the minute, I'm reading Undead Day 24 by R.R. Haywood. I've been reading them since they came out. It's sort of, apocalyptical zombie stories, but they're very amusing, and it's a good read. What I did a couple of years ago, I started doing this thing where I have little targets of how many self-published authors I want to read a year. Although R.R. Haywood is like, he's doing really well now. But and I just get into stories, but I end up reading loads and loads of apocalyptical end-of-the-world zombie fiction until they all become one big story. I need to catch up on the new King book at some point. But I do fancy going back and reading all the Terry Pratchett books again when time allows. So that might be my next port of call. But yeah, my Kindle's a car crash. It's just got so much crap on it. But yeah, Madzern After Hours one. It's not really a live leak show. We don't do that. We do trigger warnings, what this is called now. But it's very similar. It's very similar. I'm amazed this came up, though. Elf Boy, yeah, I Am Legend, in my opinion, the first modern horror novel. I mean, granted, some of the language is a little antiquated now, but in the way that it's structured and the character development things, I think, to me, I Am Legend was the first modern horror novel. Extracted is good, Alan. They're all good reads. He's a really good writer. He writes very honestly and very just straightforward. I enjoy it. I enjoy his writing style. Cup of Tea, it was a terrible film, although there's the original I Am Legend, which was, what was it called? The Vincent Price one wasn't called I Am Legend, was it? Last Man on Earth, Vincent Price. And then in the 70s there was the Omega Man with Charlton Heston, which was kind of a riff off I Am Legend, where they were all albinos. But yeah, The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price is more of an adaptation of I Am Legend. Then you had the Omega Man, which wasn't, and then the new one, which was just dreadful. That was absolutely dreadful. Alex Marshall, 3 books at the moment. I'll make a wee note of that. Jesse Bullington's pen name. There we go. Fireworks, cool. But no, I've heard good things about the new Stephen King books. I do fancy that. But like I say, I'm really having an urge to reread all the Terry Pratchett stuff. I read some books repeatedly. Like Shogun. I went through a phase every year I'd read Shogun again, because I love that book. Are we doing a live leak show or anything special? Not tonight. We're doing a trigger warning. We do trigger warning a few times a week, but we're doing a live show. I mean, In the Flesh live show on the 2nd of November in Manchester. Tickets are still available. If you head to triggerwarning.tv, there's a post there that'll link you through to Gear Press where you can buy them. We're going to broadcast a show from there, a couple of debates from there and things, and then we're turning the cameras off to have a proper free speech event where people can speak without fear of it being recorded forever or shared or destroying their lives. And we've got some other fun stuff planned for that as well. No, on Halloween, I stopped doing shows on Halloween night once my lad was old enough to enjoy Halloween. But this year I've got Graham and his family coming over, and I think local kids are coming round. And we're going to deck the place out and, just do Halloween. Then the day after's Friday, we're meeting some people that are coming to Trigger Warning Meet Space, and then Saturday's the event. So yeah, that's the plan for this year. But there's no Live League birthday show. There's no streaming on Live League at the moment. So sadly, no birthday show, which is a shame because I always enjoyed doing those. Always enjoyed doing those. Seeing how many times you could say the word cunt in 2 hours. It was always a lot of fun. It used to be a drinking game, I believe. No updates to share at the moment, Aphid Lip. I am sorry. As soon as I know, you guys will know, believe me. Yeah, it could be Brexit Day. So the TW show could be a celebration. I don't imagine it will be. Don't imagine it will be. Yeah, Lee, the games were cool, but the books, I love Terry Pratchett's writing. I started reading them, I think it was back when The Colour of Magic came out. My friend said, hey, you got to check this out. And that was okay, but they just got better and better and better. And really, really love his stuff. Really love Terry Pratchett's writing. It was a terrible loss when he passed, obviously. But man, what an author. Came across a site called Leaked Reality. It looks like a Live Leak ripoff with Gore. Some sick shit on there. Not my cup of tea. Yeah, they tried spamming Live Leak for a while. Just another Gore site. Some Live Leakers went over there and said, "Oh, it's brilliant. You gotta go," and you know the usual stuff. You know, I don't like spamming. I've never done it. I don't appreciate other people that do it. I'll salute anyone that goes and builds a website and does well with it because I know how hard it is. I know it can be very, very difficult. But if you're going to be a dick about it, of course I'm not going to help. You know, I'm not going to promote you if you're a prick. So those guys were a bit dickish on Lively. But, you know, good luck to them. I don't know how well they're doing. I don't check. I don't know anything that goes on there. But if they're still going and they're doing okay, good luck to them. I don't even know what the big Gore sites are. I mentioned the YNC and... was it? Best Gore. Best Gore is way too fucking racist for my liking, but you know, there's still Gore sites out there doing it if people need it. No, I don't, Lee. I think you're right. I don't think they lend themselves well to films. It's like most Stephen King books. You know, I love Stephen King. I adore his writing and some of the books, you know, especially from the golden era, like The Stand in it and things like that. I've read multiple times. But I don't think they translate well into films because it's all character-based, isn't it, King, really? It doesn't come across as visual. It comes across as character-based, so I don't think they work very well. Young Alex says, for me, Gore is best from the likes of Tom Savini. Yeah, Tom Savini, one of my heroes when I was growing up. Tom Savini. James Herbert was very good. Yeah, Domain is still one of my favourite books. But yes, Savini, like I say, he genuinely was one of my heroes. I spoke to him a few times when I was younger and trying to do that myself for a living, special effects. And really good guy, really patient. I found the other day, I think I came across it a couple of years ago, but my folks found it in the house. I've got Savini's books, believe me. But I got they found there's a guy called Dick Smith. He's dead now. He did the special makeup effects for The Godfather, The Exorcist. He was an absolute trailblazer in the industry and invented most of the techniques that people still use today, like prosthetics, multi-piece prosthetics and things like that. And I remember as a kid, I phoned him because his number was publicly available. I phoned him up at home and just started asking him questions. And I'll never forget that he just took the time to tell me. And he sent me a signed copy of Dick Smith's Monster Makeup Handbook because even by then, my copy that I had was tattered, torn and worn out. And I've treasured that. But Tom Savini was the same when I got in touch with him. He always made time, you know, and always stuck with me. Because that's what you just used to find the numbers and call them up. Okay, back in the day, I spoke to Sam Raimi quite a bit. Because you just used to talk to these people. You can't do that these days, especially not Sam Raimi, considering, you know, he's like one of the most successful film directors around now. Um, yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm going back like over 30 years, you know. Oh, Romero's autograph. Yeah, I remember my wife, when Land of the Dead came out for my birthday, she bought tickets to the UK premiere. I had a little cry, I'm not ashamed to admit. And I think it was, my birthday was in the August, but it was in the November or something like that, down at the Fright Fest. I don't remember when it was, but we went down there, we watched Land of the Dead, and she said, right, Romero's doing a signing tomorrow, you can go to that if you want. And I watched him introduce the film, and he walked right past me, and I got to look at George Romero, a man whose films I was obsessive about to a massive degree. And I watched him, she said, do you want to go to the signing and meet him? And I said, no. I didn't want to meet him. I don't like meeting my heroes that much. And I was cool with that, but Romero was a big thing in my life. Sean Hudson he's a very active writer. I got to meet him when I was younger as well, oddly enough, through the Black Sunday Film Festival, because one of the guys that organised that, Malcolm, is one of my best mates in the world. I've been friends since I was 16. Got introduced to Sean Hudson by him. We used to chat every once in a while. We even went to his house once. But again, this is all years and years ago. I don't have celebrity chums. I don't have celebrity chums. Mazza says it's hard today to find any decent original films. Hollywood has run out of ideas. They keep rehashing old films. No one wants to write a decent story. I don't think they've run out of anything. It's just they want the safe sell. It's safer for them to make a $200 million Marvel movie than it is to make a $20 million indie movie. They're the films we're missing a lot these days. We've got super low budget still, and the mega budget, but the ones that you sit in the million, the $20 and $30 million movies, have been crushed out because they're just too difficult. And I think that's where we've really lost out, for me anyway, as far as I can tell. Cup of tea, am I your hero? Lee says Ruggero Deodato films, laughable now, managed to get banned copies on VHS back in the year. Movieland in Whitefield, where we lived as a kid, it used to be like a mile and a half walk. Used to walk there. My dad told him let him watch any of the horror films, that's fine, and I'd always get the under the counter ones. But Ruggero Deodato got dragged into court for one of his films because it was Cannibal, not Ferox, that was Umberto Lenzi, Cannibal Holocaust, I think it was. It was the found footage one that they remade with Green Hell, anyway, and people were convinced it was real, so he sent the actors on holiday after they released the film so they couldn't be found. People thought it was real, he got dragged into court, and because they couldn't find the actors, like, you fucking killed them. So we had to try and desperately get them home. So that was Ruggero Deodato. I haven't seen Rambo 5 yet. I'm going to take my dad to see it. My dad's struggling a bit with travelling at the moment due to the stroke and things, but he feels up to going to the cinema, so I'm going to take him next week. We're going to go and watch Rambo, so that'll be cool. I'll enjoy that. But yeah, all the video nasties, that was the era I grew up in. I was 9 when my dad let me watch Zombie Flesh Eaters because my dad was shit-faced. So I grew up around that, and when I went away to college to learn makeup effects, I was only 15, moved away from home, went there for a year, came back, got in touch with people trying to make films, the fandom scene. I'm really, really happy because there's still a couple of guys from that I still talk to, and one that I got in touch with again. That really made my day. And we're in touch again now, which is cool. And so I got access to all the band films and to people that work, journalists that write their own fanzines, and I was just immersed in that whole world for quite a few years. There was something cool about just getting the good night, Graham, getting the videotape off your mate with the title written on. No, Scum was never banned in the UK, Madza. Cheers, Dominic. Hello, Sharon Wilmot. There you go. We usually give shout outs for free, but cheers, thank you. Yeah, Faces of Death, gosh. Most of that was faked, wasn't it? Was that on the Video Nasties list? I imagine it probably was. All manner of innocuous shit was on that list. What was the other really nasty one came around? The internet had got going, but you were still getting VHS traces of death. That was... Yes, Sidewalk closed. Notifications on YouTube are shite. They're absolutely terrible. Yeah, this has been a long... Basically, I've done 2.5 hours of streaming this evening, which is a lot. But just hanging out and chilling out is not exactly the same as doing the news stuff and things, is it? It's a lot easier. A lot easier. Is that needing more juice or not? Probably. But yeah, this has just been a hangout stream. I did all my bitching and complaining about my fucking life earlier, and then we've just been hanging out and chatting ever since, which has been most enjoyable. Most enjoyable. It's funny, Busk. I remember when I came onto the net, you know, you used to do things like me, and I was in bands at the time, so it was me and the sound guy would be in touch via ICQ and would go on trips through the net to see what kind of disturbed shit we could find. And I found a site called justmeat.com. Because remember, I'd done the makeup college, so we studied pathology, and then, you know, so I was all right with it. But Just Meat, and every Tuesday they would show a video. Only on a Tuesday, and only for a little while, because different world. And there was one called Train Girl, and it was a young girl getting hit by a train. I don't remember that. I think she wore a red coat or something like that. I might be thinking of Schindler's List. But yeah, she ran past a guy at level crossing and got hit by a train. And that was my first experience of, you know, like, gruesome online videos. And look where I ended up. Madsen, I don't know why it's taking a long time to load. We're still with the same host, the same CDN, and everything else. It shouldn't be loading up any more slowly, to be honest with you. You really shouldn't. Oh, 10 to 1. I'm such a dick. Homemade blue movies with old people from your council estate. I'm going to talk about the similar experiences I had with that. Softcore porn, yeah, that was actually a thing, wasn't it? Electric Blue. Yay, tits. Guys, it's 10 to 1 here in the UK. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. We should do this more often. You know, maybe after a show or maybe a different night. Just have a chill time, just to hang out, chat, drink, do whatever we gotta do. But yeah, thanks. You've spent another hour and a half with me. That's really good of you. I'll be back on Tuesday. Graham might be back tomorrow afternoon at 12ish. And I do think at some point I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 more, but we should definitely do this once in a while. It's been enjoyable. Yeah, cheers, Boxcar. Cheers, guys. You have a great weekend too, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.